Get ready for the Squawking Eagles Podcast, the show that covers only the Philadelphia Eagles. Think different. Think Squawking Eagles Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Squawking Eagles Podcast. I'm Mike, and today it's me and Mark. How's it going, buddy?
Let's go. Eagles time. I'm back.
Yeah, it's just you and me this week. Miguel will or may not show up, but we will march ahead and get started with our day. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of movies coming out, a little Madden. I think we're gonna touch base on. We're gonna go over our Eagles depth chart. I think after watching the Eagles play against New England, I know they're going to be playing Minnesota next week at the Link. I'm sure we'll see starters. We did not see starters in the first two games. I'm guessing a couple, yeah, but not like Jalen Hurts or AJ Brown.
Some of the younger starters. I think Carter's going to obviously be a starter. Davis.
Yeah, we discussed on the last week's Miguel and I. We talked about how Miguel thought they were going to play all of their starters. They did not. They play, and so I believe they're going to play most of them this week at the Link. And then we'll talk a little fantasy football. Our Squawking Eagles podcast had their first annual draft last night. People who did show up for it or did not.
That was last night?
It was last night.
I didn't get any notifications.
Yes.
What?
Yes, sir.
I didn't get a message or anything at all.
Go to the
what was it on?
It was on ESPN.
I didn't get anything. I didn't get an invite or anything. Can't blame me.
Okay. So Talking Eagles podcast.
So what do I just have like an auto drafted team in there?
Yeah, you have an auto drafted team in there.
Yikes. Well. Sorry everyone else that might be there. I apologize. I was not told anything about it because people don't love me. So,
yeah, I put it on the channel. I put it on the channel.
Let me put it out there for the world that's listening. Yeah. Mike's just a little envious because I won last year.
You did win that, but
because I'm the champion. He thought, you know what? Let's just
that was differently. That was a different league.
But he's still in the. But you're still like, you know what? I'm running 2 leagues this year. I already won one of my leagues last year. What if we don't remind him that he can't win? Right?
Right.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that might have been the.
You gotta do some Howie magic now, Mark.
I gotta pull. I gotta look at the team. I don't even know. I didn't even get it. Like, I'm not even on the ESPN for that one. I didn't get an invite for that.
Yeah, I gave you the invite.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where?
As you signed up for it. You what's the name of your team? Hawk Tua on the Phoenix? Is that what your name is? Hawk Tua on the Phoenix.
Hawk Tua on Phoenix.
Hawk Tua on Phoenix.
I didn't even look at that. Oh, hold up. Now I gotta look at my team real quick.
Yeah.
Who do I have? Oh
yeah.
I hate everything about this team.
You gotta make some trades now, Mark. Gotta make some trades.
Do you know who my quarterback is?
Who's your quarterback?
No. His name is No. I will literally pick up a junk player, then keep that man as my quarterback.
What is it, Daniel Jones or Dak Prescott?
Dak.
Oh, do you really?
Yes, I hate you guys. I'm picking up Bo Nix right now.
Bo Nix, go for it. Try to build a whole rookie lineup.
I don't know who I have here, but I'm going to get rid of somebody. Who's Vidal? You're not here on my team anymore. Or Bourne. Yeah, Bourne. They're not even in here. I don't know who you are. You might be good. Okay, we're getting rid of you. Goodness gracious. What is this league? Not bro. What? This roster is so bad. Derrick Henry? Maybe. Alvin Kamara? Bro, like 10 years ago, maybe. Yeah, this might be Justin Jefferson's worst year. I wouldn't touch him in any league.
I know, yeah.
Who's throwing to him? Sam Darnold?
Yeah, Sam Darnold, because J.J. McCarthy is out with
Samuel? What is I'm done. I've got a half Cowboys team right here. Half Cowboys of the West. I got multiple Minnesota players. Great.
You got to drop some of those guys. Got to drop some.
Half my players are out, too. They're already out for multiple weeks with injuries.
Yeah.
What is this?
Well, our next week is our fantasy draft, and
I'll be there for that.
You'll be there in person to do that one. So before we start, like us on Facebook, subscribe to YouTube, follow us on Instagram. It is now football season because Instagram is now telling me that people want to see Eagles football because I went from having about 2,000 reach to now 17,000 in a day.
Hell yeah.
So football season is back, everybody.
We're here, people.
Yeah, we're here. So, all right, let's get started.
I'll check that later. That's making me sick.
Really quick. Like I said it to you before we started, but there's gonna be a movie about John Madden, and it's gonna be
Madden.
John Madden. I don't know what it's gonna be about, but they've already casted Nicolas Cage as John Madden.
Now, look, no offense to John Madden.
Yeah.
Isn't Nicolas Cage a little bit on the slim, petite side to play?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so, unless he's going to put on some weight to film the part.
That'd be a bit of weight. I mean, I know he's a bit of those kind of, but that's a bit of weight.
Yeah, John Madden
I would think that Nicolas Cage probably weighs, because he's like 6 foot something, right?
Yeah, he played football.
So he probably weighs 200, 220.
Yeah.
I would bet John Madden was closer to 3.
Yeah.
That's some weight gain. I'm trying. I got off my weight loss for the summer. As stupid as it sounds, I need to get back on it. 3, that's so much.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be.
Side note, just because it's hilarious, I have to read. I'm not getting political. I have to read. I have to read this. So I've been out of the news loop because I've just been focused on life. I have up on my other screen Twitter. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've got some stuff pulled up for the Eagles.
Right.
However, if you're on Twitter or X, whatever, on the side there's always a trending. My top 3 trending things, according not mine, it's the top trending on
for the world, right? On X.
Swifties for Trump.
What?
Yep. Communism, but spelled as Kamala. Kamalanism. And then Chernobyl.
That is.
What is happening in the world?
I don't.
The fact that there's a Swifties for Trump like politics thing is hilarious because I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift went all in for Kamala.
100%, yeah.
But that's hilarious. I do love seeing divided fan bases. But when I do political, I just thought it was a funny thing.
It is pretty funny. So we saw the Eagles play a game against the Patriots up in New England. We did not see any of the starters, which Miguel thought that we were going to see.
I don't know about that.
We saw some starters, but not the ones we really wanted to see.
Yeah, but you're not going to see them. You don't need to. Let's be honest. Is Saquon, do you need to see what Saquon can do at 27?
No.
Do you need to see what AJ Brown can do?
No.
Like, do you need to see him? Do you need to see Lane Johnson?
Okay.
Do you need to see?
All right, I see what you're saying, but then when week 1 comes, week 2 comes, I don't want to hear them saying we got to knock off the rust. We got to knock off the rust.
True.
I don't want to hear it.
That's what you have been doing in camp. Like, I'm sick of the whole rust thing because especially when you're having these joint camps, the rust is gone. If you're still rusty after a joint camp, you didn't try hard enough.
I agree. So I'm on your side with not having to see them, and I also don't want to hear them say knock off rust.
But you want to know what I did see last night, or 2 nights ago, I should say? Potential starter playing for the Eagles. I saw the highest graded player in the game on either team, and his name was Dean.
Nakobe Dean.
The Dean's List. Put some respect on his name. People saying he was going to fall off. I mean, look, he got injured. There were stats last year looking at if he hadn't been injured, he was on par or he was on pace to be one of the leading tacklers in the league. I've said since day one, the man has a football mind. He can stay healthy, and I get that's a big if, and that's a big problem because one of the most the best ability is availability. I get that,
right? But
if he's available, I think Devin White, and I think I'm drawing a blank right now on the other linebacker's name.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
No, not Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Zach Braun. Zach Braun.
One of them might be looking at some second string lineups, maybe next to Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Yeah.
Who also looked very good. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But I think Dean might sneak back into that starting lineup. I mean, he just knows football. And you got to know with all those dogs on that, I mean, Ringo has a great Nolan Smith, my man, looking great. You got Carter, Davis, Smith, Ringo. You give them their captain, that defense, because that's what he was. He was that defensive captain. He's got that mind. If he can stay healthy, that's it.
The defense looked really good. Avante Max with an interception, and he might have secured his spot on the roster with that interception.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean. Yes, I'm still calling him DeJean. Unless he writes to us personally, says, please don't call me that, but you're in Philly now. You're DeJean. All right. He's 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Keely Ringo, 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Milton Williams, 25.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis, 24. Jalen Carter, 23. Bryce Huff, 26. Zach Vaughn, 27. Devin White, 26. Josh Sweat, 27. CJ TJ, 26. Blankenship, 25. Isaiah Rogers, 26. Quinyon Mitchell, 23. Booker, 24. Moro Ojomo, who I still think has a lot of potential and could show us a lot, 23. The only players of age. Maddox, 29. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Bradbury, 31. We could cut that. Slay, 33. Honestly, I'm okay if he's not even a starter. And then Brandon Graham, the truest Eagle of all time. Out of respect, we keep him no matter the age. Yeah. He is the Kelsey of the defense right now.
100%.
So, look how young that defense is. That's nasty.
Yeah, we were talking about last week that their defense is set up for the future. They've got their corners, they got their safeties, they got their linebackers, and they have their front four all ready to go.
I say you think about the fact that the only people outside of Maddox that are like aging, are Josh Sweat and Vaughn at 27.
Right.
Come on. Most of our team is under 25.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Our offense isn't much older. Our offense leans a little older as a whole. They're like closer to the 27s mostly.
Yeah.
But like the oldest player is Lane Johnson. Everyone but Lane Johnson on offense, I think, is under 30.
Yeah, and then the Eagles did draft his replacement with Tyler Keegan, and Tyler Keegan looked pretty good last week.
I will say our secondary O-line, not a bad look.
Not bad.
Will Shipley? How did he fall to the fourth round?
I know, he's nice little running back. It's a nice little running back.
I think I might have been right in what I said earlier in the year about Saquon.
Yeah?
I think it's a 1-year deal on Saquon.
Think so?
I think Saquon has the best year of his career with us. And I think Howie looks at that with sweet, like, you've seen SpongeBob, right?
Yeah.
When Mr. Krabs hears money and his eyeballs become dollar signs, Howie Roseman's going to see that 1,200 yard season with like 18 to 20 touchdowns and just see dollar signs.
Right.
Someone's going to call him and he say, yeah, a first round pick bet or a 2-second, something crazy that you would not expect for a running back. Shipped.
Yeah, it could be. You could. I don't know.
Don't get me wrong, Saquon. As a fan, okay, I loved you at Penn State.
Yeah,
I approved of you in the NFL, even though you had to play for the worst team against us ever. One of the worst. You're a division rival. Glad to see you're here playing for the Birds. I don't want to see you leave, but I know Howie.
Yeah,
you're a running back. I mean, we had Swift.
Yeah, and he's gone.
A local boy.
Yeah.
Did amazing with less carries. And Howie said, cha-ching. Just saying.
I think this last game that we saw, a lot of players solidified their roles on the depth chart, and then some players, a lot of players decided that they were not going to do that, and I think they're going to get cut. And one of those names is Bradbury. And I think sadly, possibly John Ross. John Ross looked good, but with that concussion, it's hard to keep a player who hasn't truly proven their spot. And I like John Ross. I really wanted to see him fly.
Yeah, but concussions are ugly.
Yep. You take it. Take it from you.
7-8 times, my boy.
Yeah. Who else had some good games? So I think what we'll do is we'll start with defense here.
Okay.
And because defense, I think was our weakest point last year. They struggled in the secondary, struggled in the linebacker position. So let's start with our secondary.
Okay.
We have players such as Cooper DeJean, Bradbury.
I'm gonna say right now,
yeah,
the starter obviously is Slay. He's still our number one corner.
Number one corner is Slay. Yeah,
there's no question there. The
but
number two corner.
Who's number two? Who's opposite of him? There's three guys that are really in the position for this. Isaiah Rodgers, Quinyon Mitchell, but he's kind of been playing the slot. Keely Ringo.
So I think what you're going to see is, I think you're going to see Isaiah Rodgers covering as your number two guy.
Yeah.
Although I think there'll be a lot of subbing between him and Ringo. I think they're going to both play a lot unless Ringo subs in for Slay when Slay gets tired. I think you're going to see both those players a lot. In the slot, I think Maddox is going to take it.
You think Maddox over Quinyon Mitchell?
Maybe. Not because of skill set. I think more of
experience,
because I think what you're going to see early is, I think if we play DeJean and we play Mitchell and Ringo early, as much as I think Ringo obviously has a little experience from last year, they're all very young. I mean, remember, Ringo is still younger than Mitchell.
Right, which is wild.
Like, they're young. Yeah, insane. So you're going to have great plays from them, but you're also going to have those plays. Who was that? The corner out of Dallas. There was hype on him because he had all those picks the other year.
Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs.
Yeah.
Diggs was a 50-50 player. He either made a great play or he got burned.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see that with our young guys. Like, Mitchell wants to make those plays. I think he's going to beat himself up after not getting that pick in that preseason game.
Yeah.
So I could see him trying to jump a ball and getting beat.
Yeah.
And you don't want that early. You want him to kind of phase in and learn it. That's probably still going to happen. But Mitchell might take the starting job. I wouldn't be upset if he did. I'm just saying I could see them starting with Maddox and maybe rotating into Mitchell by mid-season.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's Slay, Rodgers, Maddox are your three starting corners as of now.
Yeah. That sounds right. That sounds right.
I think you're going to see DeJean, Mitchell, and Ringo rotate in a lot.
Right. Yeah, fresh legs. It's like just like the Eagles had success with the fresh D line, they're going to have a fresh secondary, which is not too bad to have.
No, and I think you're going to see that again with our D line this year. Just moving on to D line. Obviously, Carter and Davis are going to be your starters, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's just who's going to be your starter. Williams, right? Milton Williams will be in there.
Milton Williams, he'll be in the mix.
And while I haven't seen a lot of them, I've heard good things from camp. And I stand by. I loved him in college. I loved him in the draft. I really think, if not this year, within the next year, I think Moro Ajomo is going to grow into his role in the middle of that D line. Yeah. He might not be your every down guy, but I mean, you get Carter as more of a pass rusher style guy on that first, second down, or in that third down role, whatever you need him to be. And anytime you're like, oh, this is a rundown, you get Moro in there. He's a bigger boy. Yeah. Or even with them. I think you're going to a little bit more run stoppage there. I think you're going to see him play a little bit, and you give that rotation again. Now suddenly you've got Davis being subbed out for Milton Williams. You got Carter being subbed out for Moro Ajomo. You got, obviously we have Josh Sweat. Obviously we have Bryce Huff. Nolan Smith wants those reps and deserves those reps. Like, you're going to have some rotation on the DN side.
Yeah. We have, so we got, for those linebacking positions, we were talking about Nakobe Dean and Devin White, I think, solidified their position as our two middles.
I think so.
I would say so. Devin White is on a 1-year contract. Show me what you got. And he's going to want to do that.
Which I'm not. It's hard for me on that because Kaiser White was on a 1-year private contract, proved it tremendously, and we still cut him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he also we improved. We improved without him. What was that the year before? Actually, that was the year before.
No, that was the year with him. Yeah. We had a great linebacker core, and then last year we didn't. And as soon as Dean was off the defense, our linebacker core fell apart.
Yeah, right. So our outside linebackers are kind of filled with Sweat. I guess Brandon Graham is going to be an edge rusher.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have
Huff.
Graham's running there a little bit. You'll have Sweat. Nolan Smith, of course. Jalix Hunt even looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see more of Hunt. I think he's going to stick around. I don't know what some of the other guys. I know, like I don't remember much of. I think Jeremiah Trotter. You're going to see him obviously middle, but I think you're going to see him play a little bit.
And then also Braun too. Bond.
Yeah,
Zach Braun.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is between Bond, Dean, and White, because I think White and Bond are bigger bodies, but I think Dean is smarter.
Yeah,
and again, like I know I hype him up a lot, but I'm trying to remind people that this man is a mechanical engineer with a master's degree. Like he's not just like a Southern hick. He's an actual genius who also happens to really know football. And statistically speaking, when he is on the field, our defense has been lights out. It's because he makes the adjustments. Watch him. I urge everybody, next time he's on the field, and it's hard because they don't talk about our D-line that much or our defense that much. When the game's on, typically the commentators talk about the offense.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out. When you see 17 on the field, watch when the offense comes in line. As he makes calls and adjustments, watch as he taps the D lineman to make the moves, and how often we stop it.
Yeah, he's going into his third year now. He's going into his third year, so he's been around enough to see what's going on.
He was the leader of Georgia's best defensive years. I mean, he was the one that told that team what to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, Kirby Smart coached a great team. Dan Lanning was a phenomenal defensive coordinator down there. Now the head coach of championship looking team this year in the Ducks. Anyway, but Dean was essential to that. You know, Ringo was an essential corner. You had, like I said, we had Smith. What's crazy still to me this day is looking at that defense. I remember as a college fan, looking at the draft classes going, okay, Jordan Davis was a massive pick coming out of that year. And we got him. And everyone said, look, Jordan Davis was great, but the kid coming out next year is even better than Jalen Carter. We went and grabbed him too.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
But I said Nolan Smith might be the best edge rusher coming out of the draft this year. We don't know. We'll have to see how that turns out. We went and grabbed him too. Keeler Ringo was a top 3 corner. We went and grabbed him too.
Late,
and then you have
late.
Yeah, late. And you had the captain of that defense come out, and people were like, "Oh, he's a little undersized, but he knows what he's doing." We grabbed him. Like we literally said, "Hey, Georgia, we know you made a great defense. You just put him in a green jersey."
Yeah,
and so we did.
And that's what happened.
And I think with Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, Isaiah Rodgers came in and is doing exactly what we expected of him. I'm shocked the Colts were like, oh, you did a gambling thing? Goodbye. Like, what?
Stupid.
What a dumb play. That's like letting go. That's where they let go of Calvin Ridley. Same thing. Like, oh, yeah, you gambled. Let's get rid of you. It's like, excuse me?
He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. He's gonna want to prove himself.
Like I get if your player gets caught with like drug charges, your player gets caught with, more aggressive assaults and all that.
Yes.
Cut ties. Cool. Great. Like he bet on like a soccer game and you're going, nope.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Especially since the NFL is so happy about betting. They're bet happy.
They're obsessed with it. I get more ads for DraftKings and all that stuff now than ever. It's like, oh, it's football season. Here's gambling. Like, but if the players do it, no. We need you guys here to advertise for it, but you can't do it.
No. On other sports, even.
Yeah. But I think it's gonna be nice.
Let's talk about our safeties. We had to talk about, so we have our safeties.
GJ. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
We got these jerseys, right? Yes. And I told you I wanted a CJGJ jersey, and I didn't. And you're like, oh, aren't you glad you didn't get it? And I was like, I wish.
Now you can.
I should have got it.
Yeah.
I should have got it.
We can still make it. We can still make an order. Sean wants to make an order.
That's true. I wouldn't mind a CJGJ, but what would I get? I think black. I don't have a black one anymore because Kevon Wallace got shipped over to Arizona. Oh, and then he became their leading tackler because, we thought Reed Blankenship was the answer. Or we thought
he was a tackler.
Well. I'm not tackling.
He led the team.
He did well. But who was the other guy we picked up from Pittsburgh last year? I don't remember his name.
Yeah, we traded him too. We traded him.
I don't remember his name.
Season. I forget his name.
We could have had Kevon Wallace.
Yeah.
Who finally developed.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm not
he was Arizona under Jonathan Gannon.
And look at what he's doing.
Yeah.
Good things.
Yeah. And then we'll probably see we haven't said anything about Bradbury. I think Bradbury gets cut. He's 31 years old. He got burned by a rookie last game. I don't see him making it. You don't think he gets cut? He's not going to get. Who's going to want to trade for him?
Anyone who has an injury. It's preseason. You watch somebody lose somebody, like a third string corner. You're like, oh, I don't have someone to replace him. Bradbury's better. Like, look, as much as we hate on Bradbury, he is a former Pro Bowl player. He still has some skill set that some team might need. I don't care if it's a 5th round pick. You get something for nothing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think the cut down day is
a couple days, right?
A couple days from now. I don't know. Maybe we'll see it. We'll see.
I will say, I also heard, even though the depth chart doesn't show it, that Mekhi Becton is pretty much solidified starting.
They recently, the one I have has Tyler Steen, but Becton, we can move on. We can move on to offense now.
I just saw the name and I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, he has now solidified his space because he played a couple series, I think, against the Patriots, and then it was all Tyler Steen the rest of the way.
Which makes me feel that,
he's made his spot. He won the spot over Tyler, and I think rightfully so. The guy's a 5th overall pick, I believe, by the Jets. For the Jets to just let that guy go,
I know,
and like the Eagles just got him up like
let him go to Stoutland U.
Yeah,
you let him go to. You let one of the best college O linemen that you drafted go, and he didn't just go anywhere. He went to Stoutland U.
Yeah,
bro, he's gonna the growth out of that man.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Actually,
I wouldn't be surprised if he kicks back out the tackle in a year.
Yeah, because he can move out the tackle, and then Tyler Keegan can play guard because that's what he's seen.
If either one of them develops, suddenly.
I think it's Trevor Keegan's going to be. I was just reading about him. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be a guy.
Well, maybe Becton stays a guard then. I don't know. Either way, they're big boys.
Either way, those guys.
I love it.
Either way, no matter what we're going to say, the offensive line is set. We've got Malata, Dickerson, Cam Jerkins, who is an athlete. If you go on the Eagles YouTube channel and watch Day in the Life of Saquon and Cam, the guy has won numerous state titles in track and field, numerous titles for football when he played for high school in Nebraska. The guy played 4 years as a Cornhusker. This guy has been built to play football, and he's going to be just at home playing center for the Philadelphia Eagles for the next 13 years. Next to him, we're going to have Mekhi Becton. Then Lane Johnson.
You know what else we have in the pipeline?
That's solid.
You know what else we have in the pipeline?
What?
We have a 21-year-old that doesn't count against the roster.
Oh, the guy they drafted,
Laken Vakalahai from Australia.
Right.
6'5", 318 pounds. He's going to spend the next few years for free on our roster under the tutelage of Jordan Mailata, Jeff Stoutland, Lane Johnson. That man could develop. I know it's not always a guarantee. Mailata is a rare event to ever happen. I get that. But Howie said we dipped our hand in the Australian pool once and pulled out arguably a top 5 left tackle in the NFL.
100%. Yep.
Let's try it again. And again, he's picking a player. Now, granted, there is one major difference. Mailata was an athletic freak coming out of rugby and Australian football, where this guy didn't really play football. Didn't play American football ever. I don't think he's played any sport in the past couple of years, if I remember reading correctly. And but he's been doing his missions. He just finished his mission service in Wellington, New Zealand, and so he's here, coming to Philly, gonna learn a few Philadelphia things, and just keep a little eye on the radar for a little Australia in another couple of years. I would love to see it. No, I'd like to see Australia as a whole. I'm seeing a lot of things about football growing there. Like, we are one of the only teams allowed to advertise there.
Yeah.
And now we have 2 players on the team. That's going to really help boost our support down under.
Yeah.
I would love to see it because, they have some great sports down there. I've watched Australian football. I've watched rugby. Those guys are monsters. We could tap into that. I wouldn't mind a little college-based pipeline, bring those players up. I think Stoutland should start his own college.
Right?
Or an O lineman high school training camp. My God. Like there's all those quarterback camps. Like, I want to go to the Manning camp. I'm going to go to Brady camp.
Stoutland
Imagine a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds who are 6'3", 6'5", 250, 260. I'm going to Stoutland camp.
Yeah. And people would go. The guys,
they would.
Amazing.
Yeah, they would.
Amazing.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
I
get on rants.
The backups for the Eagles we're gonna have Tyler Steen, Trevor Keegan, Matt Hennessy, and probably I don't know if they're gonna keep Brett Toth around just because he's a veteran. They might keep him around, but they got depth at O line.
I want to know. I would expect. I haven't watched enough. I don't think has Vaka Lahai played at all in the preseason. I wouldn't think he would.
I don't think he has. No.
I don't think he will until probably next year because again, he's never ever played football.
No, he's raw. It's super raw.
Yeah, he's super raw. I mean, he might play next year. Okay, so we got the O line.
O line's solid, and then running behind that O line, I think we're going to have probably the best running back in football this year is Saquon Barkley. Mark it down. Do you agree? Do you disagree with that?
Best.
He's going to be
a lot of pressure on him.
He's going to be the best.
Because Bijan had a really good year last year and is looking really good again.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs had a great year, and I, in the back of my mind, still think Detroit might be the best team tied. Like, I honestly would say if there's anyone's going to beat us in the NFC, it's them. They are somehow they're underrated. They're nutty.
It's because they're Detroit. That's why they're
underrated. And lastly, I know I just criticized him like 10 minutes ago because he's on my team somehow, but Derrick Henry might have a revitalizing year with the Ravens. You got a Harbaugh. We all know how Harbaugh's coach. Everyone's so frightened of Lamar. You're chasing the field for Lamar, and all of a sudden you've got a tank running down the field. He might be blowing stuff up there in the AFC. Yeah, oh no, we'll see.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. And Saquon is running behind an offensive line he's never seen before.
That's true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'll give you that. But here's the other part. How often are we going to run him? Because look what happened to Swift. Swift had like 30 less carries and like any good running back last year and still outperformed most of them. Like Swift was averaging like 4 yards a carry, and we're like, hey, we don't want that.
I know. I think it's different. I think we've got a different mindset now because
I hope so.
Brian Johnson isn't tan-tied anymore with what Nick Sirianni.
I'm so sick of that talk. I can't wait to see him flub and us do fine, flourish.
Yeah. It's going to be okay. I think Kellen Moore has a system. He has a system.
Hasn't worked. I'm excited to see it, but it doesn't have the greatest history. Everyone's going crazy about him. Like it was the Cowboys who didn't get anywhere. He was with the Chargers, who, granted, they didn't have anyone, but
both those times, like Dak Prescott had his best career under Kellen Moore. I think that's the biggest takeaway that people are saying.
I'll say it again: if you sub in any other quarterback at Dak Prescott during those seasons, they're winning everything. That roster's so stacked, it's disgusting. You're talking about a couple top receivers, top O-line for a good chunk of Dak's early career, top running backs, top defense, and you can't win?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, I mean, personally, I'm saying it's Dak's fault. I'm hoping it is because then Kellen Moore could do great for us.
Yeah.
But that's just a lot of how do you fail?
Yeah. Well, it's easy. It is a Cowboy.
You're a Cowboy, yeah.
It's a Cowboy thing to do.
Which I think San Fran is learning is the same for them.
Yes.
As stacked of a roster they had, they can't get it done. And I don't think that roster is going to be the same anymore.
They just gave a ton of money to Brandon Ayuk. You can't tell me.
Did he finally sign?
Yeah. Like 35 million or something like that. Like,
did Trent Williams sign?
An insane amount of money. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Okay.
But I think it's an insane amount of money that this guy's average. This guy's average. Brandon Ayuk, I believe, is just average. He didn't want to go to Patriots. That's what he was, either the Patriots or the Steelers, and he was like, no to the Patriots. And
Trent Williams continues to hold out.
Okay.
You're going to take their best O lineman who doesn't want to play there.
Yeah. It's not. The San Francisco is definitely not going to be a powerhouse because they don't have enough money.
This is their last chance.
Yeah.
Plus, I think you're going to learn real fast if Ayuk does go, like if they end up just trading him, or if they lose Samuel, that without the O line, without the weapons everywhere, you just have another Kaepernick. You just have another Jimmy G. They're really not that good. Everyone gets hype on them, and I've stood by this from before Kaepernick did his whole thing that the whole world went crazy. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're racist." No, I was like, "I'm not racist. I'm looking at it statistically."
Yeah.
Kaepernick was not great. He was in a system that helped him. As soon as he left, if he goes anywhere else, that he doesn't do well. Jimmy G, anywhere else, didn't do well. Brock Purdy, absolute bust. Any other team.
Yeah, we're going to see that. Also, Christian McCaffrey got hit with a calf injury, so he may not even start the season.
McCaff hurt his calf?
Yeah.
You're saying I shouldn't draft him second overall?
No. And so we're going to move on to okay. So
let's finish our offense. Yeah, I think
Will Shipley
over Gainwell.
Will Shipley over Gainwell. Don't let Miguel hear you say that. Miguel hears you say that. He's going to climb through this camera after you.
I think you'll see us doing a very hefty rotation of backs. I think you're going to see Saquon as our main guy, but I think you're going to see Shipley and Gainwell a lot.
Yeah. I think so too. I think those are our three running backs.
You know who else is going to be? Who's up there? That's got to go.
Who?
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, let's move on to quarterback. We already know Jalen Hurts is our QB1. He's him.
Facts.
But our QB2, I think Tanner McKee has
Tanner McKee, man. Let's go McKee. I know it's a Stanford boy, and I'm like, on Stanford, but you know what? Tanner McKee's proven that he can make the plays. He's got good eyes for it. And he's not a Kenny throws picks Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny does not look good. Kenny Smallhands, right? Kenny Smallhands.
Kenny Smallhands got to go.
Yeah,
I never wanted him here. I literally he didn't belong here in the first place. He belongs out of Philadelphia at least, if not the league.
Yeah, he's definitely has shown that Tanner is ready. And
I don't think we have to discuss Will Greer, right? He's just not making it.
No, he won't be on the team.
No,
that's just. He'll be on maybe practice squad. He'll be a scout team.
So I guess that leads us to the last position, receivers.
We had
obviously
a plethora of them.
AJ Brown locked.
Yep.
Devontae Smith locked. But now where do we go?
You got three guys that are fighting for that third position: Paris Campbell, Ainias Smith, and Johnny Wilson.
Johnny Wilson. Again, though, if you get past the injuries, John Ross didn't look too bad.
Yeah, but you said earlier those concussions.
I know. It's got to see how that plays out. I agree. Look, I don't think if the concussion's bad, he's not staying on the team. But if it's a minor concussion, he can come back in a week. I mean, that's speed. That's remember, speed. As much as I've said before, speed kills.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Maybe he just has to do it. Maybe he just needs to do a camp with Tyreek Hill and learn a little bit. Use your speed, my guy.
Yeah. Well, also, we have Brent Covey, too. Brent Covey's going to have to make this team if he's going to be returning kicks and punts.
I've heard Rodgers might be stealing that from him, though.
That's what I was reading about that, too. Have you watched the new kickoff? I talked to Miguel about it.
I did. I'm not against it as I used to be.
What are your thoughts?
It's pretty much a run play. It's interesting. I think what you're going to see is a lot of, 15-yard runs for nothing. And you're going to see a couple really crazy breakouts because since they're starting so close to each other, I think teams are going to learn how to create better holes and create pockets where if the runner's fast enough, he can just bolt.
There might be more creativity going on with it. I think there's going to be. It opens up more creativity.
Yeah, and I wonder what's going to. So, obviously we can't do the onside kick, which is odd.
Well, you can, but you can't. You can only do it in the fourth quarter, and you have to tell them.
So you pretty much can't do it.
Yeah,
because if I have to tell you, hey, bud, I'm going to kick it right here, 99% of the time, I'm never going to get that ball.
Yeah,
you're going to you'll just build the like any team who knows you on this, you have your hands team. And yeah, it still works against hands teams sometimes. Typically, the surprise is what works. But what about a squib kick?
I think you can't do a squib kick anymore because when you kick it into, you have to kick it in that zone area. That's the land in that zone area. So I think squib kicks are more.
So hear me out. My understanding of the rules is that the ball has to land there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how specific are those rules? Because what if a kicker, and I trust kickers to learn these tricks, kicks like a low line drive that without being touched would land there, but gets contacted by one of the guys on the line. It's not an onside. I'm not kicking it for an onside. I'm just kicking a low line drive. You happen to be in the way.
Right. Kick it like the guy that back, the guy who's receiving it's like in the head or something, maybe.
Yeah. You kick it. So, I mean, it's high enough that if you wrote it, you put a little TrackMan behind it for golf, it's landing right in the zone.
Yeah.
But it's touched the player. So now you can move.
Yeah. I guess as soon as it touches a player, I guess so. It's going to be interesting who kind of comes up with a plan to get around.
Who's the first one to get a rule? Who's the first one to get a new rule imposed?
Yeah,
that's the real question.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a little. There's some TikTokers I like to follow. They're like military, and one of the favorite quotes is, "It's not a war crime the first time."
Right.
So it's not a penalty the first time it's done.
Yeah.
So this isn't an onside kick. I'm kicking a low line drive kick.
Yeah.
It happened to hit you in the face.
Right.
Not my fault.
Yeah, I don't think they ever say, they don't talk about a trajectory of what the ball needs to be.
Exactly. It doesn't say I have to kick an arc.
Right.
It has to land here.
Yeah, it just has to land there.
I can kick a knuckleball.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Justin Tucker can kick a knuckleball.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what they do. It gives it more creative, a little bit more dimension.
If anyone's going to get creative with it, it's going to be the Ravens. So
yeah, because John Harbaugh is a special teams, coach.
He loves to mess with that. He's the reason some of the rules get changed. It's like, all right, you can't do that. He goes, says who?
Yeah, yeah. So I would see that something definitely will happen. I'm sure by week 5 or 6.
Oh yeah, someone's got to try something.
Yeah,
you got to. Remember, rules are meant to be. Those envelopes are meant to be pushed. You got to open them a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, you have to. That's what the NFL's like, and of course, it is changing the way the NFL has been played for so many years.
What is it? So remind me, if it goes into the end zone, you get the ball, the 35 or something?
The 40.
The 40.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much coaching has to happen, because I've watched a few games, and if you return, players are catching it at like the 1 in what would, if the ball went, it'd be in the end zone.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much the coach are going to say, don't bother. Like if it's at that level. Because I think my understanding is if it lands in the zone, it's a playable ball.
Correct.
But if it lands in the end zone,
it's not.
It's a touchback.
Yeah.
So you can't let it land and roll into the end zone anymore. Correct? Is that
right? Yeah. As soon as it lands, it's fair play.
Yeah. So if it's right on that line, you're gonna have to be coaching up to be like, hey, if my feet are in the end zone, don't catch the ball, because that ball touched the end zone. 40 yards is free. No one needs to get pushed.
No.
Interesting about push.
Yeah. We saw a touch push.
Brotherly shove. Let's go. Even though it didn't work this week. It worked last week. It worked this week.
It worked. It's we're gonna see it. And again, these are pickups doing it too. So.
I wonder though. It gave me an idea. What if we have a modded brotherly shove with Saquon? What if remember it was it McKee that fumbled it, or was it Pickett?
Yeah.
Either way. So it fumbled through his legs, right?
Yep.
What if everyone's ready for the brotherly shove, right? Hurts doesn't even put his hand for the ball, lets it snap through his legs.
You saw that play.
To Saquon.
You saw that play. There's a play. I just saw it online. It was.
I didn't see. I was just saying, like, what if we just, everyone's up there and then Saquon just into the end zone.
It was a play where the wide receiver, the quarterback was in. Was the quarterback was in shotgun? No, it was a running back. Quarterback went in like motion or something, went behind the center, and they snapped it through both their legs, and then the running back ran in for a touchdown.
Damn it. I'm like thinking like this should happen. Okay. So someone's done it, but like I could see us doing that.
Good,
because
sure.
you know everyone's so up on our brotherly shove, and you got Saquon in the backfield who's gonna do a little couple dance moves.
Yeah, that would be
sounds
pretty
like
cool
a
to
touchdown or
see.
first down to me.
That would be pretty cool. I would like to see
Even
that.
better, imagine something like that where the setup, all right, snap to Saquon who just tosses it to an uncovered AJ Brown who just
yeah.
Or
Totally
if he's healthy, John Ross, no one's gonna catch that man.
No
one's gonna go on. Dude, John Ross could make himself inevitably more valuable if he can get healthy and do plays like that.
Yeah.
Nutty.
Yeah, that is kind of nutty. It's going to be, this is on roster, on paper, this is a solid roster, right?
I will say, I've been looking around the.
What are the holes? Do you see any holes?
It's
you see any holes?
Glaring holes, no, but I think you're going to see youth holes. So our defensive line is still young. So you're going to see some. We saw early in that game against the Ravens, that first run against our starting line.
Right.
You're going to see mistakes. I think you're going to see some mistakes when, as much as I want to hope that Deshaun and Quinyon Mitchell are up to the task when they play. Isaiah Rodgers, a year removed from football. You're going to see some mistakes. I think you're going to still see some plays where you're going to get up against some veteran receivers. I mean, I don't remember our schedule off the top of my head. But I do know for a fact we're going to be playing Dallas. You don't think CeeDee Lamb, if lined up against Quinyon Mitchell, isn't going to find a way to hurt him?
Sure.
I mean, I hate that he's a Cowboy. CeeDee Lamb is arguably a top 3 receiver in the NFL.
And he still hasn't played he hasn't worked out or done anything yet.
That's true. He's also holding out. So
he's holding out.
I'm okay with that. Malik Neighbors, if he's healthy, well, granted, I think they'll tune better against Neighbors than they would against someone like Lamb, who's more, seasoned. Same with like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, like those young guys. Granted, Jefferson doesn't have anyone to throw to him.
Exactly.
So
and neither does the Malik Neighbors. He hasn't anybody to throw to him either.
I don't entirely agree with that.
What? Danny Dimes?
Look,
I don't think so.
When healthy,
Danny Dimes
already crazy. Statistically speaking, he's literally like par with Josh Allen.
And how do you feel about Josh Allen, Mark?
I think he's also trash. I'm just saying though, like if Neighbors gets open and Dimes can throw the ball to him.
Yeah. I
mean, look, Justin Jefferson has been a monster. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins hasn't been good. Kirk Cousins had some crazy years up there, but Justin Jefferson's had to make up for a lot of injuries, a lot of other players who have like throwing the ball. Like he still does Justin Jefferson things.
Yeah.
Malik's kind of good. He might be able to make Danny Dimes look like Danny Dimes and not like Danny Trash. We'll see.
We'll see. Go ahead. Let me see what Danny Dimes can do. They have to have an offensive line that can protect him too.
They do, and that is their biggest thing.
Yeah, they've always struggled with that, and they still, I think, have yet to kind of solidify a good line. So we'll see.
If they were smart, they would have pulled out Becton. That was a mistake on that New York team.
Yeah.
But
I'm happy. So on paper, there's some, of course, like you said, young players, players that need to prove themselves. On offense just has to be that offense from 10-1 season last year.
We got to see the connection. As much as we know that Juergens is an athlete, what connection has he developed with Hurts? Because that's going to be key.
Right. I think we talked about earlier is that they're Jason Kelsey was calling all those blitz packages and from the line. It was taken off, and it wasn't really Jalen Hurts calling it, which quarterbacks usually do. So Cam Juergens is not going to be doing that, and so now it's on Jalen Hurts to be picking up and all those blitzes and be able to pointing out where it's coming from. So we're going to see the game more in Jalen Hurts' hands, and we're going to find out if he is him or if he's just going to be gone.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting take, to see how that develops. We have it's hard to look at the year as a whole, preseason wise, and not be excited for the Birds.
Super excited.
Like, not only is it the Birds, but like, God, that roster looks so good.
Yeah,
looks so good, and not only that, it looks good for years.
It does.
It's odd. It's like right now, like if I'm a San Fran fan, I'm like nervous. Like this might be our last season. Cowboys already seen it go away. The Bills just watched their chances vanish in the past 2 years. You have teams who some teams can make it. I hate to say it. Look at, Andy Reid knows how to build rosters repeatedly. That roster looks half depleted. He makes it a thing again. A lot of coaches, a lot of GMs can't do what that does. And a lot of them have those chances and then they're gone. I'm looking at going like, we had a chance for the past 3-4 years. I think we have another chance for the next 3 to 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I think we are in a window of opportunity.
The window's wide open.
It's wider open for us than it is for most.
100%.
I think the only other teams in our window, I would say that right now the Ravens have a window. I think it's smaller than ours.
Mm-hmm.
I think Detroit has a window as big as ours.
Yeah.
I feel like San Fran has a small window. It's this year or not. I think the Chiefs will always have a window, and I hate that. I think Miami has a window. I think that's getting small.
Texans,
I don't think yet. I think they just opened the shades last year.
Okay.
They're unlocking the window this year.
Oh.
I think their window opens next year. I don't think they're quite, because you think how many of those players can go through sophomore slumps this year?
Right. Hopefully,
it could not be a great year.
Mind. Yeah, it could go south. Okay.
Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm not drafting CJ Stroud again.
You did
not do it.
You did last year. You had him last year.
Yeah, well, but hey, rookies do rookie things.
That's true.
Sophomore slump. I'm not drafting him. I'm not drafting him. I hate to say it, JJ. I'm sure you'll never listen to this podcast or give a damn about my thoughts, but I respect you as a player. Not drafting you unless you're still available in the 3rd or 4th round, in which case you're nutty not to. But like, who's going to throw the ball? You know? So there's certain players out there. I'm like, I don't know. So like, window wise, trying to think of any other team that even remotely has a chance. I don't think the Giants have a chance. Washington, not now, but they have some young talent. That roster could develop. The Bengals have a window. I think their window could be reopening right now as long as Burrows is healthy. Right. The Packers, I think, might be opening a window. They aren't to be slept on. That might be one of our toughest games all year.
You think that's going to be our toughest game all year?
It could be. Besides, like a rivalry game.
Yeah.
Compared to last year, like last year's schedule was gauntlet. I mean, it was nutty.
It was. It's this year's schedule. Like next week's podcast, we're going to do our wins and loss predictions for the year. But the schedule is I would say favorable to the Eagles.
I would say of everyone, I'm looking at our schedule right now. The only 3 teams we're playing that aren't in our division that are going to be arguably a challenge: Ravens, Bengals, Packers. That's it.
Yeah.
I think the Buccaneers window is also not there. I don't think it's really open. I think that they're overplaying themselves. Like they're better than everyone gives them credit for, but they're not a Super Bowl team.
Right.
Not since Brady left. It's crazy. In my life, the Buccaneers have like twice gone from nothing to Super Bowl champions to like nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's a quick, it's like a penny stock. They're just like normal. Boom! Everyone buy, everyone sell, and then back to normal.
That's what their life has been like. They were, they lost every game one season, and now that was
the year after they won.
Yeah,
they won the Super Bowl and then lost every single game. Talk about a Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I remember loving Mike Allstott, watching him carry the ball. Like he was just he just rumbled. People would hit him and just fall like dominoes. He just kept going. It was like watching the bus. It was like, damn.
Yeah, I liked the Buccaneers. I had a Trent Dilfer jersey. I had to have a Trent Dilfer.
Thinking about Buccaneers, did you hear about Warren Sapp?
What happened about Warren Sapp?
So after doing a little coaching stint with Dion over in Colorado, he is now addicted to coaching.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is coaching with Dion.
Yeah, he said he can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
So I think the next head coach of the Buffs next year will be Warren Sapp.
And Dion's
going to the Cowboys. I'm standing by that. I don't care with all the negative media.
I am not disagreeing with you. I am not disagreeing with you. I could definitely see that happening.
I would say sure. I just looked over our roster, our season schedule. I know we'll do the schedule more next week, but I think the Rams window has closed almost, and I think it's like barely open because you're like losing Aaron Donald is going to be a bigger hit than I think a lot of people admit to, even with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp playing as well as they are, and Kyren Williams being an unreal running back last year.
Yeah.
Defensively, can they keep it up? So that might be a tough game, but you're talking later in the season. If we're healthy, not a tough game.
Yeah.
If we aren't, that could be a dangerous game. So we'll see how that goes. That's the whole thing, really. I mean, we saw the years we've gone to the Super Bowl. There's nothing in my mind that speaks more to the fact of whether a team can make it is how healthy you are.
I was just going to say,
you could take the worst roster, and if no one gets injured on your roster, your chances go up tremendously.
And that's what the Eagles did in 2022. Nobody got hurt. Their opening day roster was the same as their Super Bowl roster.
The only thing that ever, and like the year we won the Super Bowl, the only person to get hurt was Wentz, and well, where's he at?
He's the backup with Kansas City
for Patty Mahomes. You see that video of him falling?
Yeah.
Oh, and Mahomes roasting him. That was amazing. I'm sorry, Wentz. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, I listened to the podcast from last week. Okay. I got a few comments.
Let's go. Okay, before we head out, go for it.
Yeah. Nick Foles. Big Dick Nick. Love you, bud. I have a better idea. We're going to retire his number.
Right.
However, I think we should do an honorary thing with him where, like, the best backup player each year should be given, like, the opportunity to wear the number 9 the next year. Like, if you are a backup who comes and fills a role and just shocks us, you deserve to wear number 9 next year if you want. Kind of how some colleges are like, oh, the best player gets to wear number 1. You know, you earn that number one jersey. Well, hey, if you our team's our team, and if suddenly you have to fill in for somebody who's hurt and you do your job, here's your honorary number 9 option.
Interesting.
And it's a 1-year only option. Like, you don't get it. Like, that's it. And if you wear it, then it's gone. Like, it doesn't come back because you earned your role. You lose that. So it's only a 1-year option. A little honorary. I carried myself into a position of greatness.
Interesting. That's not a bad idea.
Right?
Not a bad idea.
I like
that idea. I like that idea. I'm not opposed to retiring his number, but it can't be retired like this year. Like, you gotta
be a little bit.
Has to be a way. You gotta give Jalen some time. You see what Jalen does, because everybody's reason is, well, he won the Super Bowl. I was like, yeah, but give Jalen his time.
Because Jalen wins 3.
Yeah. Are you really talking about Nick Foles after he wins 3?
I mean, we ended up retiring McNabb. Right?
Yes, and he never won a Super Bowl.
No, he didn't. So, but Nick Foles' career at the Eagles, if you remove the Super Bowl, is not a bright one.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's marred mostly by me critiquing the hell out of him.
No, he did not have a good career in Jacksonville. He definitely didn't have a good career in St. Louis.
He had a great career for 2 months in Philly.
Yes.
That's all she wrote.
And a game in Oakland.
And 1 game in Oakland.
And a game in the snow against the Detroit Lions. That's it.
That's true.
That's it.
Which mainly was pitch and catch with Sproles.
LaShawn McCoy,
who just absolutely annihilated them.
Yeah. So people have blinders on.
Of course, and we do that. Rose-tinted glasses, man. You see the main event.
Yeah.
But you miss the struggle to get you there, which is, sometimes you just have a chip on your shoulder. But you got to do what you got to do to win games, right? And no, I think I'm not entirely for or opposed the idea of him getting his number retired, but I think an honorary thing is better because he was a backup who filled a role to an exceptional degree. Right. I think his best game, in my opinion, is my memory of the Viking team, the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
As the first time in my memory that he torched teams deep. My whole memory of Nick Foles is check down, screen pass, check down. And then all of a sudden it was like the Vikings are like, we know this guy. He's doing check. And he went,
right.
Up.
I think that's what happened. Right. That's what happened. They went deep. And
hey, I know how to throw the ball, guys. It's like, do you know? He's like, yeah, I'll show it.
Yeah.
And then we tore. just the fact that we brought the Vikings here, torched them, and then we went to their home and won the Super Bowl. Oh,
yeah.
If I'm a Vikings fan, I hate the Eagles.
It's poetry. It's poetry.
It was.
It's
That's so nice. I love it. And now thinking about the Vikings, just real quick.
Yeah.
We talked about that quarterback. Yeah, so a little meniscus tear for JJ. Ended up being a little bit McCarthy, I should say.
JJ McCarthy.
McCarthy. Yeah. Looks like his rookie season is in the books. He did amazingly well at being a clipboard holder. So we'll give him that. Sam Darnold, looks like your numbers back up. Prove to us that maybe you actually have something in the tank. I don't know. I don't know who else is even there anymore. I don't even know who their backups are. I know there's somebody else.
I have no idea.
Mullen, right? Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins is their backup now?
I think so.
Vikings are not in a good shape. They're not in a good shape.
Which is crazy,
right,
especially because Jordan Addison gets arrested. And it's like, dude, him and JJ are phenomenal. It's like they had a pretty good running back last year. They've got some decent defensive players.
Starting corner got hurt. They're not in a good
they're not
spot.
looking great this year. I feel bad for them, honestly. I've got friends who are diehard Vikings fans, and I feel bad for them. It's like
it's tough.
I don't want to see that, especially for a team I don't hate. I don't hate them. Like, I don't mind the Vikings. Granted, they beat us the one time I went to an Eagles-Vikings game, so I'll always resent them for that.
Right.
But
they're not a hateable team. They're not a hateable team.
No, not for us at least. I guess if you're Green Bay, yes. But
Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, you could hate Minnesota. I can see that.
Yeah,
but we can't as Phillies fans.
I hate the Cowboys. I despise the Giants. I would say I'm disgusted by Washington because they're just not good enough to hate.
Yeah,
you're annoying. Go away.
Right.
I hate the Niners, and I pretty much hate the Patriots. Like, there's teams outside of our division that I don't like. I strongly don't like. The Chiefs. I love your Reed. I hate your team. I hate the face of your team because he drives to the wall. Why didn't he take a baseball contract, man?
He could have, but he chose not to.
There's a few players that Pat White, we were discussing the other night, me and my buddy. He was drafted 3 times in baseball. 3 different years he got drafted and offered multi-million contracts. Said, no, I'm going to go play football.
Russell Wilson was drafted. Tom Brady.
Russell Wilson made a career out of the NFL. Tom Brady made a career out of the NFL.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray made a career out of the NFL. Pat Mahomes. But Pat White? Where did Pat White play in the NFL? Do you know? I'll bet you don't. Exactly. He had a $100 million contract to go be a pitcher because he was phenomenal at baseball.
Yeah. Who else got drafted? Brian Jordan, but he played both ways. Deion Sanders played both.
Yeah, Deion Sanders also, again, made a huge career for the NFL. I mean, regarded as one of the top corners of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if you make your name, then it's not a bad decision. But when you don't, Bo Jackson, I think people forget about what he did and the fact that no one has ever really done it since. And not at that level.
Never will.
I feel like they should, though. Like, I think Russell Wilson should have done both. I think Mahomes and Murray could have done both. I understand you don't want to risk injury, but you know what? You're playing sports. That's one thing I've said before about basketball, why I can't stand with the whole, I need games off. You're playing a sport as your career. If you get to play 3 NBA games, you're making more than 95% of Americans are going to make mostly in their lives, or at least in a year, by playing a sport. Stop complaining. Let the players play. I think that players who are good enough in multiple sports should be able to play multiple sports. Why not?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Do you think of how cool it would be if, like, Kyler Murray did play baseball and we're going like, wait a second, when Call of Duty's not around, he's really good in football. But damn, did you see what he did in the summer season with baseball?
Yeah.
The man pitched 28 strikeouts, and it's like, okay, keep that arm up. Like, that's cool. I like that stuff.
We would probably be talking about Bo Jackson being one of the greatest NFL players to ever play if he ever got hurt. Like,
yeah, true.
When he got hurt, when his hip got popped out, he was done. Like, that was his whole thing. And his baseball career kind of went to hell, and everything went to hell after that.
Which is why you see things like Barry Sanders retiring when he did.
Yeah.
I think that's why you see Luke Kuechly. People tend to forget Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
Bro, that man was one of the greatest linebackers, but he saw some injuries coming his way and said, you know what? I don't want this to get worse. Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
I don't want this to get worse. Called it a day. And again, though, because they called it a day, we talk about them like, first off, it's like that Batman quote. You either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. Look at Russell Wilson. If he had just retired in Seattle, he goes in, gets his number gets retired. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Now, I don't know if he's going to make the fame. I don't know if he deserves it.
I know. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look good.
He's falling apart. No one really wants him. It's not a good look. You know, and now you got a chance of injuries, and people are seeing you on social media more, and you're really kind of falling off.
It looks like a money grab for him. That's all it looks like. At this point, that's what it looks like.
At this point, 100%. Which is like, bro, how do you not have the money at this point? Like, you should be set. Yeah. So I'm okay if you retire young. Yeah. But play your sport and don't complain about it because you're playing a sport.
Yeah.
You're playing a sport, guys. Yeah, get the injuries are harder. Cool, great, grand, wonderful. You signed one NFL contract. One.
Yeah.
You're set. Financially, you're making, like, think about it. What's the league minimum? Like $1 million?
Yeah, at this point, it probably is.
$1 million.
Yeah.
How many years do I have to work to make $1 million?
Number of years. A number of years.
About 12, I think is my no, probably a little more than 12. Probably like 15, 16 years.
Yeah, 15 years.
I don't know. I'll do the math.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane. And it's like, you know, I'm just going to do it real quick. Yeah, about 15 years. 15 years to make $1 million at the current pay rate that I'm at. I hopefully I'll go up a little bit. But like 15 years. Like, bro, I'm 32. I don't know if mathematically I've made $1 million in my life. I don't think I have. I think I'm close.
Right. Yeah.
But you were talking about.
I'd have to look back and see if I have or not.
I would hope math. Yeah, I mean you've worked almost what? You're a few years older than me.
20. I worked at school for 22 years, and I worked before that too. So
yeah, so you're probably up. But I mean, think about
I'm closer.
But do you feel like you've made $1 million?
No.
I don't know. But the NFL minimum is $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. Well, I always think that Bryce Harper makes more in one game than a Philadelphia resident makes in a whole year.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's insane. Well, it's like hockey, the lowest paying professional sport right now, right?
Yeah.
I guess MLS might be lower. I'm not too up on the MLS contract.
I don't think we put that in there. We don't really put that.
We don't put that. It's growing though. It's going to have to be considered, especially with the World Cup coming. It's growing tremendously here.
That and pickleball.
If you take practice, if you do the opening skate for hockey and nothing else, if you take the opening skate and then like you're a fourth string player and they just say, hey, dress, you're done. We're not going to play you tonight. It's $3,000.
Oh, wow.
For skating those 5 minutes of warm up.
Yeah.
That's more than most Americans make in a week.
Yes.
And you could take 2-3 games a week. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, sign me up. I'll take warm-up skate all day.
I warm up all the time.
Yeah, I'll warm up every day. What do you need, coach? Like, you want me to fetch the water for the boys for $3,000 a day? Please. It's not even a day. It's like 2 hours.
That's funny. Yeah. All right, that'll do it for us. If we got anything wrong,
no, I got more for you. It's not all of us. Yeah.
Now what? What do you got?
Madden.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about. See, I talked about Madden last week, but yeah, you were playing. You started playing.
I played college football.
Yeah,
and I played Madden. Someone at EA said we need to make these games different,
which makes zero sense.
Makes 0 sense. Madden gives you the opportunity to play with most of the players you know. I'm cool with it. College gives you the awesome build of a dynasty, the recruiting, and the play style for NCAA or college football, as they're calling it now, is the same as what it was in 14. I like it. I like it a lot. There's a few quirks, a few bugs. You have some ridiculous interceptions, like ridiculous interceptions that need to get fixed. There's a few random plays here that you're like, that's broken. Right. But the general feel of the game feels like a good football game. Madden feels arcadey. Like, and I understand there's an arcade setting, ladies and gentlemen. I play on simulation. I'm not like I'm doing it. They were side by side. Both were simulation style. I'm not going to play one in arcade and one in simulation. Oh, they feel different. No, both are simulation setting. Madden feels funny. Like, I like it. The graphics are nice. The system looks really good. The music's probably one of the best playlists I've heard on Madden for a long time. Big ups Connor Price for being on there with his Overnight song that I showed Miguel earlier in the year. That song is fire. Eminem is on there. Like, there's some good stuff. But the gameplay feels odd. Like there's
clunky? Does it feel clunky?
No, like a little. It's like when I hand the ball off, you almost feel like the game, in a sense, like freezes, so that you have. It's almost like this is the start of the level, boom, and like then you go. It's funky feeling. I don't know how to describe it. I urge you to play it. You know, it's I'm trying to think. You know, if the draft ends up being at someone's house, I'll bring my Xbox to show you in person a game of college real quick, a few plays of college, and then a few plays of Madden. It's odd. It feels it is weird because obviously I love NFL, I love football. We already did a fantasy draft.
Yep.
You know, I like my roster. I made a few trades. My roster is stacked. I'm super excited. But it plays weird.
Right.
College football plays clean. There's a few bugs there. One of them in particular is recruiting. You know, it's like recruit has to cut down to their top 5 schools before you can offer them a visit.
Right.
And sometimes it'll like say he'll have it cut down to 5. You'll be part of the top 5. It'll say you have to wait till the recruit gets down to the top 5. And I'm like, he's at the top 5 and it just won't let you ever schedule a visit. And it's like, cool. Lost out on that. But I've had that happen. I had one year. I had 7 5-stars not commit to me because of that bug. 4 of them went to Georgia, 2 went to Tennessee, 1 went to Penn State. I was like, and I was leading on all of them, but couldn't schedule a visit. Every one of them scheduled a visit. After their visit, all of them took over. I had no chance.
What school are you playing as?
Multiple. My original one with Coastal Carolina. I took them to 4 national titles, 1 win. Then I switched to Penn State with the hope of moving from Penn State so that my buddy could have Penn State, because we noticed that when I left Coastal Carolina became an offer for him instantly. So I thought, okay, I'll go to Penn State, hopefully get a better offer, leave it so he can take that. That didn't happen. I think we kind of stopped that dynasty. I've got another one where I started as mid-10 State. Now I'm Minnesota, looking to move on from there. I've got another one where I'm Hawaii, and I think we're starting another one today. I can't help it. We're obsessed with it. I love college football. The recruiting, the growing teams, and changing things. And I've got a Road to Glory player who played for Ball State for 2 years, redshirt, and then his freshman year earned a starting spot. Now moved to North Carolina, did a transfer portal jump. So we'll see how that goes.
Like? Is that interesting how they do that? Is it like is it realistic that how that works?
It seems to be pretty realistic. I mean, the offers are you know what you like. I didn't have like North Carolina was my best offer in the transfer portal.
Yeah,
you know, like most of the school, I only had a couple offers. You know, I was coming out of Ball State, so not like I was a great player to begin with. So not a lot of schools gave me offers. It's a challenge to like if you start in Road to Glory, you can choose to start as a 5-star prospect, 4, 3, or 2. I started as a 2. You're pretty much a walk-on anywhere. You start as a 60 overall. To increase your leveling is extremely difficult. You earn skill points through games and practice. Usually in a week, I can earn 1 skill point if I just focus practice.
Right.
Games when you're playing, sometimes if you do well, you earn 1. But like my running back speed is atrocious. It's 79. To increase my speed costs 10 skill points, and it's not a guarantee that my speed goes up.
Oh, wow. So they do make it a little bit of a challenge.
So if it takes you 10 weeks to earn 10 skill points, and it might not go up at all.
Wow.
So it's a challenge.
Yeah. That's good.
It also depends on the difficulty. Like I play on Heisman because
why not? Right.
You know, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm just kidding. But I grew up playing the game. I've been playing. I have college football in a box over here from like 04. I've got Madden from like 99. I've been playing football. Yeah. So like if you're not playing on Heisman, you're not playing on all Madden, why are you playing the game? Just kidding. You just play whatever you do. Enjoy your games. I just like the challenge. It's good times. Either way, but yeah, I have to say that out there that for some reason Madden, like they definitely were like, we need to make it feel different, and it wasn't.
And they did.
It wasn't good.
If not a good way.
If you could play Madden with everything it's got, with the play style that is college football, it'd be the best Madden in a decade, easily. And they've added some changes to being able to move countries and stadiums. Like I took the Cardinals, and they are now the Melbourne, Australia Dragons.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
We're good times. Let's
go Melbourne.
Yeah, Australia's where it's at, huh?
That's funny.
Anyway,
enjoy next week's game. Next week's game is against Minnesota, the final preseason game before the season starts. Maybe we'll see starters. Maybe we won't. We'll see.
Maybe a drive.
Is that the link?
Maybe.
You got to bring it. They got to put them out there for the link, people. They got to do it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So again, we'll see you next week. Just you and me next week. Miguel is on vacation.
Miguel, we're gonna miss you. We need to get a recording of him just doing the EAGLES at the end.
That's right. Yeah, that's
just
right.
To throw it in there. Just tell me it's gonna come on. Just do a little recording of a video clip so we can pop in right here.
Right. That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. And then we'll see you next week, Mark.
Sounds good, man. I can't wait.
There we go.
It's that time of year. Let's go, Birds.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Eagles. Let's go.
Go Birds. And I'll hit some music right now.